All right, good evening, everyone. Nice to see you here. So here we are in our weekly discussion in our community. Every week we always have an interesting discussion about um, an interesting topic. Well, before we start, I would like to um, convey some rules of our discussion tonight. I've actually them on the chat box, but I will say them again for you. First of all, you need to mute your microphone while listening to the speaker, okay? So the second of all, you're not able to give your statement if the moderator doesn't allow you to speak up. So guys, again, please respect our moderator today. That is Ms. Sigma. And thirdly, please focus on the topic of our discussion. Our discussion today will be about environmental degradation. So please um, make some correlations, okay? Your arguments with our topic today. Subsequently, the hosts are capable of cutting your statement if the moderator thinks that's enough, okay? So again, please respect our moderator. And furthermore, encourage to be active in our discussion. As I said before, here we are studying together. We are on the same boat here. So there is no a speaker or narasumber in Bahasa. Therefore, we ask our main speaker here as a moderator, because she or he will only lead us to discuss about certain issues. And last but not least, guys, please raise your hand on the notifications of participants. So if you want to speak up, you can utilize this option on the Zoom. Okay, you're able to click the tool called reactions, and there is a feature called raise hand. Okay, thank you, Mr. Sunshine, Mr. Aji, sahabat Aji, sorry, Mr. Unggul Purnama Aji, Miss Chachun, Mr. Chikoneng, Mr. Fabian, Miss Livia, please, Miss Sophie. Okay, could you please try to raise your hand, because it is essential, it is vital, because when you would like to speak up later, you can utilize that tool. Miss Sophie, Miss Chachun, okay. No thumbs up, but raise hand, Miss Sophie. Okay, great. Okay, guys, thank you so much for trying. Now you can lower your hand again. Okay, great. Now it's time for us to listen to the presentation of our moderator tonight, but I will be her substitute for a while. So let me share my screen, okay? All right, please let me know, everyone, when you can see this screen clearly. Okay, can you see the screen clearly, everyone?
Yes, yes.
All right, great. So our topic for our discussion tonight is the problem of environmental degradation. Is it gender neutral? So the moderator wants to correlate our discussion with gender issues. Perhaps she is very keen on this topic. Well, first of all, I want to ask you, everyone, about this question. What is environmental degradation? So please, if you want to speak up, you can raise your hand. Mr. Chikone, are you raising your hand? Do you want to speak up? Mr. Chikone?
Sorry, I forgot to lower my hand.
Okay, anyone? Mr. Aji?
There is Aji here. The real Aji and sahabat Aji.
Unggul Purnama Aji. Unggul Purnama Aji. Yeah.
Okay, I will react after Sahabat Aji.
Okay, Mr. Sahabat Aji, are you ready? Come on.
I don't know anything about environmental. Sorry, I just know about mine, gold, and corporation. So I think my friends will describe it for you. Sorry, thank you.
Okay, this is actually a hot potato, right? Here in Indonesia and other places around the world, there is environmental problems. Therefore, some organizations, some communities raise their voice about this issue. Oh, we have Mr. Sunshine. Mr. Sunshine, please. Yeah, you're able to speak up.
So, if we would like to translate word after word from the key terms we have on the screen right now, I can say that degradation is like when you actually encounter some problems that you couldn't improve or fix in a while. Degradation, it means you go declining. For example, like when it comes to quality, it become worse or keep worsening without showing any indications of improvement or betterment. I believe that when it comes, when we relate these degradations to an environment, it means there is no significant enhancements done by the by every single stakeholder related to the environment, because I believe that environment itself is a passive thing, is a dead thing, right? They couldn't do think properly, because we actually, as the human, created as a creature who have minds to practice, to figure out things work. So yeah, environment becomes the responsibility or the duty for the humans to take over, to regulate, to manage, how to make them balance. So degradation, environmental degradation means that there's also human resources degradations, human quality degradation. It means that humans unable to, how to say, find out the best way to utilize their minds, their brains, how to make environments and those who using environments coexist, so that it will not hamper the positive impacts that created by the environments. I believe that we need to acknowledge so many benefits that have been given by environments to us, but on the other hand, we should realize that we didn't have things to do for the sake of environments in significant way, or probably in the same way. So yeah, in short, I can say that environmental degradation reflects the inability of humans, since humans have something overtaking the environments. And yeah. Okay, probably this topic may be also an indications, even though it's indirect indication for the symptoms of how we should pay attention more to the conditions of our environment. I think that's from me. Thank you.
All right, great. What a great statement, Mr. Sunshine. So Mr. Sunshine has stated that environmental degradation is an issue that has something to do with the inability of human in the world right now. So is there anyone who would like to respond or has another opinion? All right, great. Mr. Aji, please take the floor.
You said first. Okay, responding to the previous statement, when we look at the industrial activity, that is profit-seeking activities from the oligarchies, that most of them, they are men. When you could see the list of the most richest people in this world who have a lot of companies, especially mining companies, like my Sahabat Aji friends, right, doing their businesses. So most of them, they are crushing, they are destroying the environment also. So in that case, come back to the title of this topic. There is a consequences when there is no single actors, especially government, doesn't able to prevent their greediness. For example, siphoning the, what is that? We call it the, what is that? Precious things that has been absorbed by the oligarchies, especially that activity destroying the nature like mining and so on and so forth. When we are not ready as a government, for example, creating new system that is enforcing the people or the business model to be in the sustainable way. So of course, this is the consequences. Of course, in this title, there is relating also for, is it having relation with a gender perspective? Because, for example, we could see participation between men and women now in, for example, in legal legislation, legal institution. It is, what is that? Imbalance, right? So, of course, the policy that has been issued by that institution also representing, for example, the most of the masculinity value. But however, this is only the question that we will seek to answer it after this with a lot of discussion, with a lot of point of view from our friends. And I think that is my introduction. Oh my goodness, it's the same style.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mr. Aji, for uttering your first introduction. Well, Ms. Suchi, time is yours.
Oh, yeah. Okay, hi. So actually about the question itself, like what is the environmental degradation? So for me, my statement is like, I think it's a process. So the environmental degradation itself is a process where there is an unbalance and also that there is a problem in general health in our environment, which actually can be caused by natural, like earthquake or just like what happened in our natural, and then but also can be caused by human activity, like our like what Mr. IG said before, that there is the unbalance in human activity, like uh, lot of company can destroy our environment itself, and also there is a, so in general it's a process, with which can reduce the general health of our environment, can be caused by natural and can be caused by human activity. And what I'm looking for this discussion tonight is like about what is the connection to the gender, because to be honest, I have no idea what is the environmental degradation connection has connected with the gender issue. So yeah, so I think it's for general to answer this question, what is the environmental degradation? Is the process. It's a process of reducing the general health of our environment. Yes, that's all. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Ms. Suchi. Yeah, environmental degradation can be caused by nature and human. However, in my opinion, I want to also convey my opinions here. Please let me convey my statement. Yeah, environmental degradation, I think, can be caused by both causes. But in my viewpoint, environmental degradation is mainly caused by human. So we are able to see in the last 30 years, for example, the destruction and the deterioration of environment itself has been more harmful for the last 30 years compared to the last centuries, right? So why is it happening? I guess it has something to do with the development, with the invention of technologies made by humans, and the motives are mainly made by humans to generate profits here. Okay, before we move on to the next question, I want to show you guys this definition made by our moderator. Okay, she has searched this definition. Well, environmental degradation is the depletion or destruction of a potentially renewable resources such as air, water, soil, forest, or wildlife by using it at a rate faster than can be naturally renewed. Yeah. Well, this is the definition made by our speaker. Now, guys, I want to bring you to discuss our next question that has something to do with our topic today. That was still warming up question. So here we will move to this question. Now, what is gender? Okay, so anyone, especially those who haven't spoken up yet, I would like to hear a statement from Miss Sophie. Miss Sophie, are you there? Could you share your perspective a little bit about this question? Miss Sophie? Or Miss Livia?
Hello,
Miss Sophie. All right, great.
can you hear me?
You are very audible. Time is yours.
Okay. So I just know a little bit about gender. I think gender is social construction that has that already construct for hundreds of years. For example, some rules or some character that what is that? That social build for example, there are some character that only for men, or there are some character that can only do by women. Well, even though the fact is there are the character or the role that can be done by both, especially in conservative environment. So they divided the character between men and women. I think that's the gender. Thank you.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Miss Sophie, for your statement. Well, Miss Sophie has said that it has correlation with the social contractions. Nice. Well, anyone who would like to respond or give another statement? Miss Livia?
I still do not know the correlation between gender neutral and this.
No, it is still
Environmental
asking about the definition. What is gender?
Okay. Okay then. I personally believe that gender is also like very subjective, depend on what environment you are living. Like especially in Indonesia, we are under the patriarchal culture and tradition and perspective. So they are expecting the woman as the second gender and under the the masculinity, femininity is under the masculinity, and we have to like serve the life purpose of our husband or our like the head of the family, which is my father, like that. And we have to more like giving some tolerance towards the man instead of just acting equal. Like if the man doing something, like we tend to more tolerance to them. But if women doing something, they are being more vulnerable to judgment and so on. So I guess it's depend. But in like America or the other country, perhaps that they are more equal, I I think the problem or the gap between the gender, like feminine, masculine, or men and women, it's more subtle. It still exists in some ways, but it's more subtle. They are more like a mixed roles, and they tend to like cooperate and collaborate each other equally. I guess.
All right, Miss Livia, thank you for your response. Okay, there is Miss Uchi that is raising her hand, but first of all, we have the real moderator here already. Hi, Miss Sigma. Could you hear us? Could you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, now you can change my place here. Now you can share your own screen, okay? Okay, let me stop sharing. Okay,
Okay.
wait a minute, Miss Uchi. I'm sorry for this delay.
I'm sorry, but sir, can you share the setting if I share screen from here? So I can the screen will share something. Share screen. Sorry before. Today. Yeah, sorry. Miss Tangga, share the screen.
I'm
After
sorry.
when I share the screen,
I'm sorry,
my
Miss Sigma. Your voice is
is probably
unclear. Miss Sigma. Hello, Miss Sigma. Sorry. Miss Sigma, your voice is not clear. I'm sorry. Okay. Perhaps she is still having a connectivity issue. I don't know. Your voice is still not clear. Okay, let me share our screen again. All right. While waiting for Miss Hikma, Miss Suchi, you wanted to speak up before.
Oh yes, thank
Okay.
you for this. Thank
Go
you
ahead.
for the opportunity. Yes, so actually looking at the question, what a broad question that we have here. So what is gender? So it's such like a broad question actually. But like Miss Sophie said before that actually gender is just like social construction, right? So it's just like a more than biological one. So actually, it's part of the cultural differences. So it's just for us in Indonesia, we are familiar with the it gender is used to distinct two sexes, right? Like male and female. That's all because we're not really familiar with the other gender. But for the what is gender as generally, I think like is the we use this to distinct our identity, right? So maybe in overseas we like like right now is LGBTQ. It's very how to say is very a hot topic right now, right? So for us in Indonesia, in our environment, so in our culture, is it's just the gender is it's just like how we distinct two sexes from male and female. I think that's all. So it's just like the thing that we use to distinct our identity as in culture in our culture. Yes, that's all. Thank you.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Miss Suchi, for responding. Miss Sigma. Can you speak up?
Okay.
Okay. So there's still
then,
three people speaking about this question. Okay.
okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. The first, I want to ask you guys, can you hear am I audible? Can you hear my voice clearly?
Yeah, now it's kind of clear.
Yes, now it's better.
Okay. Thanks for Miss Suchi. I don't think that I have to introduce myself because the trouble before. So just so you know, I am Andi Nurhima, just or Andi for short. And thank you for Miss Suchi about the definition of gender, that is social construction, right? Miss Suchi, anybody? Okay. I stop. Can you hear me, guys? I want to make sure before I continue my screen.
Should I move the screen, Ms. Hima?
I mean, can you hear my voice?
Yeah. You are audible.
Yes. As Ms. Suji said before, that gender is about social construction to distinguish male and female, like identity, social identity for women and men. So let's see the real definition about gender. Okay. Let's see the next slide. Okay, this is a definition from Oxford Dictionary to sex, male and female, especially when considered with reference to social and cultural differences rather than biological ones, as you said before, Ms. Sophia. And the terms also used for broadly an range of identities that do not correspond to established ideas of male and female, a condition that affects people of both genders. So, you guys right about definition of gender. That is social construction and is not depend on biological ones and is about social identity. But in this discussion, I will limited definition now. Actually, I don't know if this is the right title yesterday about gender. For this discussion, I want to focus on male and female because the impact of environmental degradation is equal between men and women. You get my point? Okay.
Ms. Hikmah?
Slide, Sarah.
Oh, slide? Okay.
Yes. Okay, next slide. Okay, I'm so sorry, but no, I mean the okay, the slide 5.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you clearly.
Slide 5.
Okay.
Before this
This one?
okay, but the audience cannot hear my voice.
When you're closer to your laptop, we can hear you.
Pardon?
When you move closer to your laptop, I guess, we can hear you more clearly.
You can stop your video, Ms.
Okay,
Hikmah.
okay. Wait.
Okay.
Okay. now can you hear me? Yeah. Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah. Now it's a little bit.
Now it's clear.
Okay. 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 Thank you. Okay. Next. Please slide 5. We already discussed about gender. So now we would like to see the relation between human and nature.
Next slide.
Next slide. Yeah, next slide. Okay. Actually, before this slide, I have a question, but I don't know where the question go. But okay, just
This one.
just let
This.
me tell you the question. Yeah, that's it. Yes.
Okay.
What is the relation between human and nature? Yes. Anyone? If you wanna answer this question, raise your hand, please. Okay. Okay. Mr. Moonshine. Is Mr. Moonshine?
Okay. I'm still don't know how what is the correlation between general natural nature and etc. But I will try to answer this. What is the relation between human and nature? I think it's kind of like love-hate relationship, or for nature maybe it's the toxic relationship for them. For example, like we know that it's human responsible to protect the nature, or to how to say it, like to make a balanced situation with the nature. But actually when we grow the society, the number of population, that's also we make them how to say it, like maybe degradation, just like the first slide
Hello?
before. So I think the relation between human nature is like the love hate. We really love nature. We enjoy to we enjoy nature. We want to explore more about nature, but at the same time we do exploitation, exploitasi. What is exploitasi? Exploitasi. And then I think
Exploitation.
that's it. And I think it's kind I think I just want to know more about what is nature and gender natural, because what I know for environmental in gender perspective, which I read a lot from feminist theory, right? It's because nature, we can learn a lot how to take care nature with the woman perspective. For example, like in NTT, we can see that a lot of farmer there is a woman, are a woman. So they know how to they don't need some technology or some scientific calculation to predict is this season to plan, or this season to panen etc. And I think the relationship between woman and the nature is like is the way to take care nature itself. I think that's it from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Moonshine. You said that the relationship between human and nature is the way we treat the nature, yeah, like we treat human. Okay. So I see Mr. Sunshine. So time is yours.
Okay, so yeah, the relation between human and nature, I do
Yeah,
agree.
Sunshine.
That's said by Mr. Moonshine that it is still having like toxic relationship. Why did I say so? Because probably I myself can
Oh,
become a reflection of how the relations felt.
sorry, Mr.
Okay, probably you
Sunshine,
can
I
hear my voice clearly.
can hear you.
Or oh my god. I'm getting confused right now. Okay, so I suppose I should continue or stop for a while. Can you hear my voice, by the way? Because how is it?
I can hear you clearly, Mister.
Okay, because I just want to let you know, guys, because Mr. Am I Audible? It has been the great nickname of the host, so I couldn't say it in the very beginning. Okay, I suppose I will continue. Okay, so yeah, since I'm quite ignorant in terms of environments, I do not particularly know just how deep the relationship has been broken up to this time, just how negligent we have been, seeing that so many destruction, exploitation had been done for the sake of improvement, development of the country, and we always sacrificed for the sake of economy, for example, like what has been said by Moonshine before. I think that's all from me. I'm sorry if it is not quite related to answer the question. Thank you.
There are Cikoneng and
Itu
Unggul
the
raising their
okay,
hand.
guys.
Is it my turn?
Miss Hikmah, you are not audible to us. You're lagging. Your voice is lagging. Sorry. Can everyone hear Miss Hikmah's voice?
Not that really.
Unfortunately, it seems that the connection has ruined our discussion today. Miss Hikmah, shall we give the chance to Mr. Either Mr. Chikonen or Mr. Aji? Miss Hikmah?
Yeah, please, Mr. Aji, time is yours.
Okay, thank you so much. I suppose that
You can
I
go.
want to bring this question into another field. It's called cosmology or something like that. When we could see our hand
Mr. Aji?
in a microscope. What's that? Can I continue?
Yeah, you can go first.
Okay.
After this, Mr. Chikonen, okay? Yeah.
Okay. When we could see our hand or our body in the microscope, we are in different particles. We are just like an atom, right? Some structure of atom like that. And when you could see the table, it's same. there is no something that is what is that solid between us, between me and the table. So in short, environment, I can describe it. It is something that is exists in a three-dimensional, three dimension, I say, either it is inanimate or not, that is outside of us. It's called environment. In the old sculpture, in the holy books, in the Quran, in the whatever is it, there is announcement that we should not destroy the environment. We should not destroy something either inanimate or not outside of us. So in that relation, of course, we should do good either to ourselves and either to something outside of us, right? So in those, I think, in this point, I do agree with Moonshine's statement. We have vice versa relationship. So in that case, destroying the nature is something that has been prohibited from the old lesson until the current lesson. Of course, maybe the next answer will be in the next question. But in short, yeah, there's question about relation between nature and environment and us and human. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Aji. I clarified that we have a vice versa relationship with human and nature. Um, okay, Mr. Can you back to the sixth slide? Okay. Now, this is the human nature relationship. I think your answer, Mr. Sunshine, Mr. Moonshine, and Mr. Aji really relates with this slide that human has depended on nature for all needs. Hence, there has been a deep connection between human and nature. So our needs like food, clothing, water, and etc. is provided by nature, and also human have a responsible to take care of nature. That's our relationship between human and nature. So since we are live on the earth, we have to take care, we have to protect our earth. So that's why we can continue our life. That is the human nature relationship. Thank you for your answer. So we need to go to the main topic today, that in slide 8. Yes. Yes. Does the impact of environmental damage have the same impact on women and men? Okay. I saw that Mr. Chikoneng raised his hand, so I will give you a chance. I will give you a chance. So time is yours.
Okay. Well, thanks for the opportunity. Regarding to the previous question, and also condolence with this question, I would say that in contrast, I mean, I couldn't agree more that is a toxic relationship between nature and also human being. But in contrast, in this situation, especially coronavirus, and also several governments and countries that take the action how we should face the next pandemic caused by climate change. It means there's a relationship between the human and also the nature. So, for example, like G7 has announced how they will change biodiesel to the green solar. I don't know what is the term in English. And for instance, we can look at our neighbor, especially in Singapore. You can find that there is the airport created like the forest in the airport, and it is the international airport in Singapore. So we should face how the city in the future, especially during this pandemic. We work from home and we got a lot of activities that we have spare time if we really don't busy about our work. So we can take the advantages how we can plan a plan and also we built like a green housing, for example, like 131 house. And then
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry to stop. I'm sorry, but you talk about the how to prevent in the next future, right?
no, I mean
How,
there is the intention for I mean there is the intention in our governments and also international countries. They will change their aim how to be green pollution,
okay,
how
so
to be
you said
eco
the
green.
I mean, yes. So you said that how to prevent environmental damage in the future, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your point. I'm so sorry, but I need to make sure that's your point,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, there is
Okay,
a
thank you.
one step to prevent it. And then
Okay, so
the correlation
yeah.
about the men and women, right? Impact for environmental damage in this situation.
Environmental, yeah.
Environmental damage for this situation is um, like I would say that if in the future perhaps we still work from home, especially like the industrial activities, and we can say that like white collar work atau pekerjaan kerah kerah putih, and notabene as the success worker. So there are a lot of time that they will reduce a pollution from transportation and also from the industrial activities because work from home, and it will build the good relationship between human and also nature. But I couldn't figure out how men and women the correlation in the environmental damage. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, for before I move to the next speaker, I want to make sure you said before that COVID-19. I just want to make sure you said that COVID-19 is a result of environmental damage. Is it right?
Result in the good result, I mean, not in the bad result.
So COVID-19 is a
COVID-19.
good result.
The good result, how to be good relationship between the human and also the nature. That is only one factor, and the second factor is technology. Because without the technology, perhaps we still utilize like coal mining and others. Yeah, but
Okay.
by doing a technology, we can change from our coal, or we can say the gasoline, to the green online. How to say bahan bakar green itu apa in English? I forget about that. What is the vocabulary? Bahan bakar renewable energy, perhaps, in the
Yeah,
term of
renewable.
renewable energy, like solar panel.
Oh, okay, okay. I got your point. Thank you, Mr. Chikone. So you give a solution about our problem in the future. And but remember, guys, now we discuss about the impact of environmental damage have the same impact on men and women. Perhaps Miss Chachun, do you have any statement or argument about this question, Miss Chachun? Okay, Miss Sophie, time is yours. Miss Sophie, are you there? Hi. Okay. Okay, Mr. Sunshine. Mr. Sunshine.
Okay.
Because the other only thing they try to, so you have to speak again about this question.
I'm not sure, because when we look at specific gender, they must have felt something different, right? Like the impact of love can be significantly different, felt by either male or female. But what happens with environments that we couldn't actually see the gender of the environment? It means like it's natural, right? We couldn't like assess whether environment is actually male, female. So probably that will be like impact, a general impact that can be felt by the human, for example, like the disappointment. And I believe that this is something that can also be felt or be witnessed by our nature. Our nature can also be disappointed on the behaviors of the humans, and that's why they try to notify us by giving harsh punishment. For example, like giving us landslide, flood, or hurricane, or something that actually can harms human, but actually that become a very good reminder for humans to realize what so many mistakes have been done. I mean, like there are rights of the environments that is not fulfilled yet by the human, and that's why this is like how the environments put some demands on human to give more love, to bring more affection, so that they can love one another, like what has been said by Mr. Moonshine.
Okay, okay.
I think that's for me. I'm sorry if I don't know
It's
it's
okay. So you believe there is no difference. I so believe there is no the impact about environmental damage between men and women. So
Uh-huh.
they very impact. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you,
yeah,
Mr.
yeah, yeah.
Sunshine. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. So next I see Mr. Harry. Please. Yes. Time's yours.
Okay, thank you. Actually, I don't know,
Mr.
and I
Harry.
don't. Yeah. Hello, hello. Can you hear my voice? Hello.
Yeah, yeah. I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't get journal or information about environmental damage have the same impact on women and women yet. But
Mm-hmm.
we can think also that biodiversity, biodiversity is like circle of life, because the nature will need human and human need nature. It's like why? Because the ecosystem is like and stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3 of the ecosystem is like actually relate one to another. Example, a few months ago that the Australia has had news that the growth mouse, the growth mouse, right, growth mouse in South Australia or another region, because uh, when I saw the news in the internet that the government or the people in there it's like kill of the mouse, uh, or not, I mean like kill the cat. So the growth of the mouse is so high, and then the damage is apa? And the impact, I mean like the impact of the situations is getting for the human. So uh, when I was to say, uh, it's like the biodiversity is the cycle of life. If the one stage damage or one stage harassed by the human will be get the impact also.
Okay. So the point that when we treat nature like I mean harass or we don't protect the nature, it can also give an impact to us as a human. So that's your point, right, Mr. Harry?
Yeah,
Like you, yes, yes. I just wanna make sure.
yeah.
Okay.
What the
Thank
human
you.
do, yeah.
Okay. You can continue. I'm still here. You.
Yeah, I mean like what the human does, but it's good or not, they will get back the result what they do. I mean like that.
Okay. So yeah. Okay. Just like a causal problem, right? Yeah. Okay. Now, Mr. Moonshine. Okay, time is yours.
Okay, I think woman will have more impact from the environmental damage than a man. For example, like this. For example, when we face the food crisis, like like the price of meat is higher, then woman will how to say it, will gelisah. What is gelisah? Will feel that they're possible to prepare the nutrition for their baby or for their children within with the meat. But so they anxious. Okay, thank you. Anxious, and woman will feel like I should feed them with meat because the nutrition or the protein in meat will make my baby grow healthy, for example, like that. But when men ask, when the meat price higher, when and men ask by that question, men will say that, yeah, you just change the food. Why we should think the meat price higher? So it correlation with how women responds injustice within their body. I mean like this. When we face this environmental damage, uh, so we will face the same thing with woman nutrition to feed the baby. For example, woman needs protein, or woman needs zat besi or whatever is that to make sure their ASI will be the best for the baby. But for environmental damage, it makes it cuts the nutrition to the woman, and of course it will impact to our next generation. So I think the damage will be more impactful to women than a man, because the way men thinks is the way to prevent or just look for another option. Just like I said before, when the meat price higher, then you just change it with fish or change it with tempe tahu or whatever is that. But women cannot think like that, because they not unite. They share the same feel with the baby, because they mengandung, and then they share the same feel. So they need to make sure the nutrition is better to their baby or their children, to make sure they grow as a good person, or have a good quality of life, for example, like this. So when the environmental damage happen in the world, so I think the problem is really hard for the woman, for the baby, and for our next generation. It's not just it's not just us to prepare our energy to light the to turn on the light or 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 to run our car, but it's also to prepare the nutrition to our next generations in this situation, like our baby and etc etc etc. So I think that's my opinion. Thank you, Miss.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I think that even have give more impact for women. Environment can impact food security that is very benefit women, and also it can
I'm sorry, Miss Hikmah, I
give
can't really hear
to
you
from like
again.
because we can fulfill their basic need for free. And for women living in poverty, they have to pay for food, and it's very difficult to for them to fulfill like a food for their children, for yourself. Okay, thank you, Mr. Munshi. Yeah. Okay, now I want to hear the statement from women. If you don't have any statement, just try to elaborate from your personal experience. Perhaps Miss Suji. Miss Suji. Yes. Miss
Oh,
Suji,
hi.
I saw you raise
Yes.
your hand, so time is yours.
Yeah. Okay, so actually I can't really hear your voice before, so I can really hear that you call my name. So for me, maybe it's the same as Mr. Moonshine said before, that for psychologically, so like we are women, so like so we have like a basic human, how to say, we have we
Basic
have
human
access
needs.
for yes, basic human needs. So that is why we feel more anxious about the climate change or the imbalance in our environment, like food for our children. I have no child, but actually, like yeah, so we have more, we have how to say, and then also beside that, we also have a less access, let's say in Indonesia, about the policy, about the access of, so more women live in poverty more than men, actually, because we women, well, we can say that we still have an imbalance in our environment, in our culture, for the word, and then for the access to our, even for the, like, let's say that the policy to own some land or to have some our work. So that is why men, mm, compare with men, women have a more impact for the environmental damage, in physically and also in psychologically. Yes, that's all. I think that that is my opinion.
Okay, thank you. Okay, you have a same opinion, but I go on point that women live in poverty more than men. Yeah, I got that point. So, next, Miss Sophie, perhaps, or Miss Chachun.
Yes, Miss.
Yeah, time is yours.
Is the question is that's written on the slide? As the
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, a little bit. I got disturbed because I went to the bathroom a few minutes ago.
Okay, it's okay.
Yeah, I totally agree with Mr. Moonshine that had said that, yeah, they both got affected by environmental damage, but of course, women more affected by it because, as we know, that women daily activities very near with the nature, and also the food that they consume will affect their body, and then it will affect their baby, and then the whole generation. So women will more get affected than men, but it doesn't mean that men can save bad environmental damage. they just less affected. And also I really interested with Mr. Munshan when he said just change the food if you want to healthier. But we all know that it's not that easy because like the whole system, and then there's so many giant companies that produce the food, even though how hard we try to produce it naturally, but most of the food that we consume still affected by there are much chemical with coming to our bodies there since there's just a lot of company that produce it. I'm sorry if this is not really answer the question. I'm trying to. I think that's my viewpoint.
Yes, yes. You actually answered the question. I got your point about nutrition, about food security. That's impact women, even though men have impact. Women a little bit uh, have a high impact than men. Okay, thank you, Miss Sophie. I heard your answer really, yeah. Okay, there's anyone who answered the question? Okay, thank you. Before we go to the next question, I will explain several things about this, the impact of environmental damage, the same impact on men and women. But the answer is no. Mr. Can you move to the next slide? Yeah, the answer is no. As you mentioned before, that women experience poverty, malnutrition, and it can also impact the security. Okay, let's see the data about poverty in the world. Okay. I have a data. This is the poverty in our world that's provided by current population or census bureau. I don't know about it, but you can see the data that men in age 18 until 64 experience poverty only 11.9% and women 50.4%. This is the very I mean uh, this is a big difference between men and also women. Why poverty happened? What's the relationship between poverty and also environment? I'll show you the data. Okay, let's see. Okay, the next slide. Yeah, let's see the next slide. Let's try to talk about agriculture and also food security, as you guys mentioned before. Okay. Okay. When we talk about women, agriculture, and food security contact related to environmental degradation. When we talk about like agriculture, I'm sorry, guys. Little bit noise. Okay. When we talk about agriculture, we always associate the agriculture with men in the 12th slide. We never think about there is women who work as a farmer, even a fisher. In Indonesia, actually, I read an article that our government thinks there is a woman work as there's the government know that in Indonesia women fisher are exist. So this is when we talk about agriculture, and when environmental damage happened, the women can lose their income. They cannot fulfill their basic needs, and this is make women face poverty. So let's see the data again. I can show you the data about a woman in agriculture sector. Okay. Women farmers currently account for 45 until 80% of all food production. And this is exists in all over developing countries, especially in Africa and also Asia. And more than 90% in many African countries are engaged in agricultural work. So imagine when the environmental degradation happened, where the woman how the woman can fulfill the basic needs. They don't have access. They don't have. I mean, they especially in rural area, they don't have access. They have far distance for. Okay, they far distance for the public facilities. So it is a really impact to the women. So you can see the cycles right here. Environmental degradation make women face loss of income and also that can by poverty. Okay. Okay, I see Mr. Shanshan. You do you want to speak up? Is Mr. Shanshan?
Yeah. I'm
Yes,
here.
yes.
Um, yeah, uh, in all honesty, I want to deny that, but probably, as far as I know, um, even in Mid East of this world, unlike Arabian countries, who have been, they have been, they have more female farmers compared to males. Males, even though they can be found easily in some grocery shop or just in any shops, for example, like being calf, but the farmers are mostly done by females and they having or they getting hookah for themselves. So probably some of you still didn't know about this, but yeah, it happened over there. So something that I need more explanation is about how come women face lots of income, and meanwhile, I believe that being farmer is not sufficient enough to make them become uh, how to say bread butter, someone who finances the whole family or who works how to say the item bread butter or breadwinner. Yeah, breadwinner. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I believe that being farmer is not sufficient to make you a breadwinner. Okay. Okay, yes. So probably any one of you can explain more about the combination. I mean, like the correlations between the environmental degradation, poverty, and the existence of women having less income due to the both reasons before. Okay. Okay, I think that's all.
Yeah. So okay. Sorry, I can hear you clearly. I, I will try to besides that, you heard my religion in women, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Like if you find the correlation, what we need to make our follow up well, we'll ask you first. Or need to rise well. What for example, for ask you, we need to me food like rice, like sorry, I even know. Okay. 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 No. Okay. But if what culture so developing general are especially I heard I read a story from the local that in Sulawesi there are women if leader have children they have less as then they can they need as they can give for mind they are content with the system so that they can fulfill these low the income and nature provide the income. So the correlation between poverty and also I know all the more living poverty, but more impact because especially for our system don't have access to land, don't in whole land in because we are but in also owned by as a host as a hit of whole. Got my okay. Okay,
I'm sorry, Miss
okay.
Sigma, your voice
Do you have
is
any more
freezing.
impressive about this? Because the audience cannot hear my voice.
Yeah, so sad. Your voice is
Yes,
unclear for
I
us.
mean the audience cannot hear. Yes. Actually, I already explained it, but okay. Can you hear me? Should
Okay,
I repeat my explanation?
now your voice is clear right now.
Okay. Okay.
We can go on to the next discussion.
Men and women and also environmental degradation, you can text me and I'm willing to give my time to discuss about it because our discussion limited by time. So this is the correlation between women poverty and environmental degradation because women cannot fulfill their basic needs because environment because the nature was broken and cannot make food grow up well. So that's why. And also in African countries, more than 90% women uh, are farmer. Okay, next slide, Mr. Angga. Okay, the next impact that women experience is women and water resources. Water is a crucial. Water is our crucial needs in our daily life. And when environmental damage happen, environmental degradation happen, it impact the sources of fresh water. And women as a caregivers for their family, uh, it can they can be impacted because water I mean affecting because environmental degradation affecting the availability of fresh water effective of fresh water, and to fulfill to affecting the fresh water that is need to use in domestic home and productive tasks. When water are affected, when water when we don't have a source of water, women as a caregiver of their family have to walk for distant sources of water. And not only women, but also their children have to go to the far distance to find groundwater, and the this and this water sometimes cannot fulfill their needs of household, and the water also contaminated by chemical substance. And when we see more deeper about this problem, it's just like affect the social negative repercussions. Because when water affected by chemical substance, it can give a health problem to women, even men, but uh, women more receive more impact. Like yeah, women have a health problem, like perhaps it can contaminate their skin, or I mean like on the nutrition. When this impact their skin, they can get like lesions or dark spot, and another skin problem. And when they are live in a rural area who who have a patriarchy system, women who have a problem with their skin also experience negative repercussions, like they can be shunned, or they can be excluded, or even stigmatized. Stigmatized, yeah, right. Yeah, and women are valued by their physical appearance. It's really hard to get married. Women who are unmarried in rural area especially are more vulnerable to poverty and social exclusion. That's the connection. And when environments they happen, it's also as I said before, that can contaminate our water resources, and our agriculture production is affected too. So this is the cycle. Do you know? Do you get my point, guys? I continue. Okay, next. Okay, next slide, Mr. Ranga. Okay, malnutrition, as you mentioned before, Mr. Mushan, Miss Suchi, and Miss Sophie. Yes, this happens to women as they cannot fulfill their nutrition from food that they can provide it for free. They can fulfill it before, and now they have paid it, but they face a problem like poverty, so they cannot fulfill their nutrition. I have a framework about this. Let's see the framework before. I mean, let's see the framework first before we go to the next slide. Okay, the next question, I mean. Okay, this is the framework of malnutrition, and basic causes is come to the nature, potential resources, nature, technology, and people. So this is very basic. And among women is likely to give birth low birth weight baby, and their baby is susceptible to get disease and also premature death. So this is a very complex problem about environmental damage. Okay. this is the data from World Health Organization. I will share my slide so you can write the data about malnutrition in Indonesia and also the world. Go to the next slide. Okay, this is our uh, question again. Who made our enemy with this problem? Okay, Mr. Shine. Mr. Shine. Okay, Shine family. Raise your hand. Outside. Mr. Shine, are you there? Okay, Mr. Sunshine, time is yours.
This is truly a tricky question, frankly. Who made nature our enemy? Because um, when we consider someone as our enemy, we have a constant hatred. We mutually push and pull, and we keep going against one another. So I can say that the enemy of nature is human themselves, and who made nature our enemy is like, but yeah, I mean, like, but some humans defending the side of nature. So for example, like some environmentalists, right? Environmentalists, like we know the term like ecoterrorism, in which some environmentalists who do not believe toward the policies related to environment that have been enacted by the government is not that really effective enough to cut down or to prevent or to stop the exploitation toward the forest. This kind of movement or social movement do something like terrorism. I mean, like for example, like putting some bombs inside the forest that have been quite uh, often being exploited by some humans. So I can say that simply to make nature our enemy is human themselves. And what is the root of the problem? I believe that we need to see the culture, we need to see the civilization, just how much human can actually collaborate, coexist with the nature, not only based on the prejudice of the economy or the assumptions of the technology, but how the economy and technology can be used to diminish the gap between human and nature. I think that's for me.
Okay, thank you. So, yeah, so I mean, we need to see about the culture, about the big problems.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So, okay, actually, some part of the state and okay, Mr.
Okay, thank you, Miss. Even I can't hear you clearly before, so I still have a lot of questions because you I think you already explained it, but maybe I will ask again. I still don't get it. What the correlation between a job with poverty, woman poverty, because when you gave an example before, like in Africa, so when the woman faces, how to say it, like they have to walk far to get the water, or they have to malnutrition and something, and farmers, I think it's not because of gender bias in there, but it's because of the war, or because of the system, or because of the capitalistic system that made them have to face the situation. For example, like why women have to walk far away to get the water in Africa, because the man is going to the war. Yeah, there's no man there. The man is going to the war, right? So, for example, why they have to provide the food there, etc., etc. Because the man is trained to prepare the tomorrow war with another tribe, or like in Nigeria, they have to the Boko Haram, they have to go in war to, for example, like that. And I saw the comment that said that in farmer there a system like landlord and etc 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 because that's why made our farmer live in poverty line because of the system of the landlord, or we call it feudalism, right? So I think it's also the root of this problem maybe. And I see that of sometimes the root problem also in Asia and Africa is marriage, because when women go to not go, how to say it, have to decide to have a marriage, they will face some structure, patriarchal structure, and they can't live as independent autonomy in their self, for example, like that. Like in India it's really complicated to analyze the system of the marriage in there, in in problem with poverty on women. So regarding this question, you can answer it later. Sorry. So regarding this question, who made nature our enemy? If I can say my radical mind on this question, I think that made nature our enemy is, yeah, it's religion. It's religion. Why? Because there's some order in some religions that say that we have to this land, this earth is for you, human. You can use it, you can live in there, and you just how to say it, memberdayakan. You just have to control it to your own use. For example, like there's a mine, there's a tambang, and etc like that. So I think it's already become study in feminism that religion is the first and the most that make human uh, uh, how to say it, pembenaran. So they feel like they can doing the exploration to the nature. And what is the root of this problem? I think the human nature the problem in there. For example, like greedy, the greedy, and feel like uh, I still don't have enough in this situation. And power also, and the system of our economic system is also the root of problem. Because when you go to masyarakat adat, you can see that they live they not unite up. What is menyatu? They live menyatu with alam. They feel enough with, yeah, something like that. Yeah, and they can take care their nature to grow as it should be grow. And I think it's also become something that become our problem too. Because in this pandemic situation, we can see that masyarakat adat is the one who survive, not us in town, not us in city, not us who go to a good university, but masyarakat adat, the one who survive, like in what is in Banten, Baduy, and then in NTT, NTB, and in West Java, like apa Pagelaran, no, what, no sih, uh, yeah, something like that in masyarakat adat. So I think the root of this problem is human 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 nature that wants to become a domination as a makhluk hidup, as a makhluk hidup, to become the most dominated creature in this world. I think that's my opinion. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Moonshine. That the root of this problem is a human nature itself, right? And also it's very interesting that none of the men suffer. They have to experience, they have experience like what was the their family, right? Okay. Okay, let's see. Here, Mr. One, please answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You raise your hand.
Okay. Can you hear me, Miss Hikmah?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I disagree with what was that Mr. Moonshine said. It's about it's coming from religion as the source, or who made nature as our enemy. Because yeah, in several religions said that the creator, I mean the human being, is the controller of the earth. But if we take the philosophy, there are several kind of. The first is spirituality, and the second religion, and the third is the ethic. When it's come from the command of the religion, it should be in the term of spirituality and the ethic. Because we ever say that we are freedom or we have human right to do whatever we are, but it's really come from our freedom, or it's come from our ego that confine our freedom to do whatever our ego wants to be. For example, like if you take a journey in the supermarket perhaps, and you will buy something that you certainly have the intention to buy it, for example, like powder, but in the middle of term of your buying, you hear the music that you really like, and you have desire to buy it. So it's come from your freedom. You can buy that music, or it's come from your ego that your desire to buy it. So it's mean the ethics should be simultaneous involved in the human being itself. So who made nature our enemy? I would say that the government. How we say that? Because as the government, absolutely they are human. No one angel in the world from the government, but they have the authority, or they have the privilege, how they will control their budget nation. So in this situation, they should control or enact the policy that is suitable with the abstraction what will happen in the future. Let's take the example of China, for example. At the first time, China focused on the economic system, and China changed their aiming from the socialist to capitalist because they will not compete with the other nation. Then after that, China focused on technology, how they will integrate it between borders and also by BRI. And after that, China will focus on eco-friendly energy. So by this abstraction of what will happen in the future, you can manage your budget well. And what will happen for Indonesia in contrast? Indonesia don't have, I don't know, Indonesia have the abstraction what will happen in the future or not, but Indonesia still left behind from the developed countries one. For example, like Singapore. Singapore will focus on eco-friendly system or eco-friendly energy. For example, like I mentioned before, international airport made like design of forest, And what is the root of the problem? The root of the problem, like I mentioned before, is the abstraction that what will you face in the future, what your budget will deserve to what your societies need. And for this situation, the core for the all of the problem is the integrity of defeating corruption and the integrity to enhancing our education system. Okay, thanks for me.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chikoneng. You said that.
Can I speak a little bit?
Okay, okay. Time is yours, Mr. Angga.
Okay, I'm sorry, I can't raise my hand because I'm a host here. So yeah, sorry. Well, in regards to this question, I think human, I guess human is not a greedy, human is not greedy. It is not related to the greediness because when we see historically, there was an era in which a human could live in harmony with the natures, which was in the communal primitive era. If we see or learn about anthropology, there was a condition in which human and nature was really can coexisted together. However, because of the class society emerged in the past, it changed the human nature from mindful toward the nature, become greediness, become greedy people. However, what encouraged people to be greedy is not because of the human itself, but due to the push made by the economic and political system in which how do we how to say feudalism in the past, but there's previous era called Asiatic society in which there was actually a class society back then. Therefore, when we take a look at this current economic political system, which is capitalism, okay, when we see the commentary about capitalism, capitalism has three main characteristics, which are exploitative, accumulative, and expansive. So capitalist system basically is a system in which humans are separated by two main sectors, which are someone who possesses capital, there are capitalists, and on the other hand, someone who possesses only services to sell to other people that are capitalists themselves. And the main thing that the system thinks about is advantages, benefits, etc., without looking at the consequences, problems made by the environment. Therefore, when we can see in the villages, in the rural areas, there is strong or bad situations made by the developments, companies like mining companies, industries, etc., that displace the life of indigenous people, farmers, workers, etc. So it's mainly rooted in the system. When we would like to change it, we need to also look at the system itself. That's my simple argument. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Angga. I really agree with your opinion that the root of these problems is about our system, like a capitalist system, development with capitalist system, and who some who ignore the experience about women in development. And so that's why women more suffer because of environmental damage, because they don't, because sometimes, I mean not sometimes, but they always, the women always excluded from the decision making and also from the indicator of development itself. Okay, so because I'm so sorry. Okay, because we are limited by time. Actually, I have one question again, but okay, this is okay. Mr. Rangga, you can show the, yeah. This is the roots. This is from ecofeminism perspective. If you have another perspective, it's okay. But this is from an ecofeminism perspective. That's the problem that we are faced about environmental damage and affected women because of development with capitalist system and also patriarchy system. This is the those 2 points are related because patriarchy when development I mean, when a government or even oligarchy plan to build something or plan to open mining in industry, they, as I mentioned before, they ignore the women experience, like women body, and they ignore the women opinion about that decision. So that's why I think that's the root of problem. Okay, guys, if you have another question about our discussion today, you can text me and I'm willing to give my time to discuss about it because this is a very interesting topic. I will try to make give a conclusion about our discussion today. Uh, okay, the first is okay. This is the conclusion I made, but actually, you guys give a lot of perspective. That's a really new perspective, and I'm so sorry because I cannot input that your perspective in this conclusion. But I really I'm really glad about your perspective. So the conclusion is the impact of environmental degradation doesn't equal between men and women. If you want to counter my conclusion, just text me. And women are vulnerable to experience poverty, negative social repression, and health problems due to environmental degradation. And the last is the root of this problem is a development with capitalist patriarchy. That's this the conclusion from my analysis. If you have another conclusion, if you have another statement, we can discuss it in another opportunity. So thank you for today. I'm so sorry I have a trouble before about my connection and my PC. I'm so sorry. And for the last, thank you and back to the host.
Well, thank you so much, Ms. Hikmah. You've shared us well, even though we had a bad connection today, but you can still cheer us well. I think that's great. So before we end, as always, we always provide some feedback before we close our discussion today. Let me share my screen. Okay, let me know when you can see this screen clearly, guys. Can you see this? I'm sorry, it is not that clear, but I was trying to make it. All right, feedback of the day. I wrote several pronunciation mistakes and grammatical issues here. First, we have axis. I want to say this in bahasa Indonesia. Pertama kita pakai, biasanya kita ngomong axis to axis, ya. But you can also say exist. So this is actually exist, not axis. Exploitation, exploitasi. Okay, there's some uncommon vocabularies here, or specific vocabularies. Harvest, panen. Usually we say environment, but it's actually environment, which is lingkungan. Tujuan, not aim, but aim. Yeah. Ecosystem, it should be ecosystem. Kerusakan, damage, not damage, but damage. Gelisah dari Mr. Eka ya, anxious. Hamil atau mengandung, pregnant. Zat besi, iron, ya, iron. Pencari nafkah tadi Mr. Sunshine, itu breadwinner, pengasuh, caregiver. Terus menstigma atau mencap, stigmatize, memanfaatkan, utilize atau memperdayakan ya. Pembenaran, justification, makhluk hidup, creature or being. Nah, tadi ada yang bilang pekerja kerah putih itu white collar workers. Kalau pekerja kerah biru, berarti blue collar workers. Pekerja kerah putih biasanya yang di kantoran-kantoran itu ya. Masyarakat adat, indigenous people. Then I also wrote some collocation issues, jadi masalah kolokasi ya. Nah, umumnya kita bilang begini nih, what happens with you harusnya what happens to you ya. Jadi kalau questionnya itu bukan with tapi to. It is different with, salah ya, harusnya it is different from. Near with my home harusnya near my home. Their self, ini juga uncommon mistake, ini common mistake juga, harusnya themselves ya teman-teman. Oke, itu saja. Thank you so much. Let me stop sharing. Nanti akan saya share juga di grup ya. Okay, before we end, it's time for us to take some pictures. Okay, please guys, show us your beautiful and handsome faces. All right, Miss Hikmah, could you show your video again? Miss Sophie, Miss Suchi, Miss Chachun. Come on, don't be shy, Miss Sophie. All right, great. Who's gonna take a picture, Mr. Sunshine? Do you mind? Okay, great. Okay, Miss Sophie said she can't show his video. All right, it's okay. Come on, Mr. Sunshine.
Oke, hitungan ketiga, dua. Tiganya udah duluan. Sorry. 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more time. I'll save it first. Okay, wait. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sunshine, for taking some pictures, Mr. Hikmah for moderating us, and others for joining here in our discussion. And I'm really glad to meet you here. And as I say, wassalamualaikum, good night, everyone. Bye-bye. I'll see you next week.
Hello, Ta. Yesterday.
Hello, Ta. Okay, the last I said, hello, Ta.
Yesterday
we said tomorrow.
Okay, see you guys.
Okay, I'll see you guys. Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Kotak-kotak.